And still with the same topic, and we're also joined over the phone by Senior Executive Vice President and Treasurer Chief Financial Officer, College of Mount St. Vincent in New York, Mr. Abed Al-Kish. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us. Well, sir, how do you see the significance of Egypt's participation in the second Egyptian Entities Conference?
Well, it's quite important for Egypt to connect between the Egyptian expats to their motherland, Egypt.
Yes.
One of the things that the entities are doing all over the United States as well as all over the world, that they've been doing a good work to improve the life of the Egyptians when it comes to education, healthcare, and also to be the front line to have the soft power for Egypt abroad. So that's quite impressive.
Well, sir, how was the echo of the conference in the United States?
I think one of the things that's really important is such a communication increased the echo in the United States. Last year, such a conference, it was very helpful.
Yes.
And every year it's an improvement year to year.
Yes.
And connecting the Egyptian expat to Egypt, it does have a huge echo to have more of expats for the first generation, second generation to connect with the motherland of Egypt. And would be the first defense for Egypt and the Egyptians.
Yes. Well, sir, to what extent did the conference promote for the presidential initiative Decent Life?
Well, it's quite important that you mentioned that there are a lot of entities that have been trying really hard to connect with Egypt and trying to have such a great effort to support the presidential initiative, Decent Life. One of the things I know, one of the groups that I do participate has in New Egypt, and we have regularized with the Egyptian government to such a support. So a lot of entities do not have the access to data, and such data would be a great help of the need of any cities, villages, or areas of need, and these entities can allocate the resources appropriately to help who are needy.
Right. Well, sir, how would the conference maintain direct contact between the state and all Egyptian entities abroad?
I think of the Minister of Expats and the Foreign Affairs doing a wonderful job. Her Excellency Minister
Nabila Makram?
Nabila Makram is doing an outstanding job.
Yes.
I think one of the things that becomes really quite helpful if we have a quarterly report to show the accomplishment of the entities in Egypt and how they were able to help to the presidential initiative Decent Life for Egyptians. It will encourage more entities to participate and have others also to be connected toward that huge initiative.
Yes.
That's quite important if we have such a report that will be continued. Also, the data, it would be very helpful to do such a thing. I know one of the things the minister have done an outstanding job is legalize those entities and visit them to make sure that those entities that legitimate and their help and support is quite into the guidelines of the Egyptian government.
Right. Sir, how do you view the Foreign and Immigration Ministry's support to Egyptians living abroad, especially in New York and the States in general?
As we all know that New York is the capital city of the world, and the UN the UN Council located in New York City.
Yes.
So we're quite trying to make sure that will be the first defense for Egypt. And I think knowing and understanding the challenges Egypt is having, then we will have that soft power to be the first defense for Egypt and making sure our voice heard to the congressmen and women in the United States and the senators as well. And this is a type of communication could be a great help for Egypt.
Yes, well, I would like to thank you very much, Mr. Abid Al-Keshk, Executive Vice President and Treasurer Chief Financial Officer of Mount St. Vincent in New York. Many thanks for your insights, sir. And dear viewers, now we go to a short break and we'll be right back.